Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm so very happy to be here with our good friend, Roberto Caldas, and he's speaking to us from Portugal. Roberto, today we'll be talking about suicide, suicide prevention, and the program that he really wants to take time to talk to us about, which is the program Bike for Life. And as it is today's conversation is part of our series, Seeds of Knowledge. And just wanted to share with you how immensely happy to be here with you, Roberto, and to have this opportunity to have you present live this discussion for the Solitude Center for Spiritual Living. But if you don't know about this organization, if this is the first time that you are watching us in this video, please note that our organization is quite new. We are about almost there, 2 years old. We are also 100% virtual. And yet a different wrinkle to it, which is we are spread all over the world. Our founding members were based in different countries. And from a continent perspective, we were spread in the Americas, North America, South America, in Asia, as well as in Europe. We are committed to present lectures, study groups, and really provide messages that will help all of us feel better, right, Roberto? To feel a sense of embrace. We provide messages as well as are here to listen to you. Our program currently is mostly focusing in Portuguese and English, but soon we'll start in German as well. The work of this group is mentored by, it's based by the vast spiritist literature under the tutelage of Joanna de Angelis. And we're here, as I mentioned before, to talk about something very specific. So I'm going to shift from talking about us to introducing Roberto and passing the mic to him. So who's Roberto? Roberto Caldas is a CVV volunteer. CVV stands for Center for Valuation of Life, I think is the best way to say. He's also a member of the group Acolher Viver, which is just welcome life, right? And finally, he is also, not finally, he also works with the lots of acronyms today, Roberto. RPV, which is the Network to Protect Life. And there is also this German group, right? A MOVE, which is the movement for the animal ethics. So I think I got all the work that you're doing, Roberto. I do know that you started this journey to talk about Bike for Life, and we all are here. I am here, eager to hearing from you on what it is, right? What did you do, and why? Why is this important for all of us to be here, listen about it? But without much further, Roberto, I am going to the backstage, and I just want to say thank you for being here with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much to you, my dear friend Marcia, to all the members of Solitude's team. I am very grateful to be here again. So, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to be here again to talk a little about life, spirituality, health, and peace. It is a huge honor for me. Who am I to participate in a program that it's called Seeds of Knowledge? I almost have no seeds, but I will try to deliver you some lessons that I've been learning during this way of pilgrimage that I am doing right now in my life. So, with no more delays, because time is running, we have a lot of things to talk about today. Let me put the chronometer on here. Well, I've been working, let me get here. Yes, I've been working, as Marcia told you, in a mission of suicide prevention, mental health, and emotional health. I'm very proud to work at institutions that, like RPV, Acolher Viver, CVV, that deals with this important and urgent matter in the world. CVV, for example, is an institution that offers emotional support for people to people who are seeking for some comfort, some empathetic conversation via telephone or chat online. Institutions that are from Brazil. I'm living in Portugal and work remotely with CVV in Brazil. So bread is fundamental on our tables. In this way, in Portugal, I've been working at a great institution that it's called ReFood, that collects food from supermarkets, from restaurants, and offers this food to people in need of food. And cost of living here in Portugal is so high, uh, so many immigrants that are in need of the bread on their tables. As Marcia told you, I've been working in two. I'm very proud to mention these two institutions that are MOVI and AMAVI. MOVI, in the free translation, is Movement for Animal Ethics Spiritism, and AMAVI, Friends of Environmental and Life. All these two entities are growing into the Spiritist movement, but the question is universal, spreads to beyond borders of Spiritist movement, trying to reconfigure our relationships, the human relationships, to the non-humans in the environmental uh, circumstance in the planet nowadays. And in this way, all of these works that I've been doing in the last years converge in a so incredible way in these two projects that were run in the year 2022, 2023, respectively, Riding for Suicide Prevention and Bike for Life, that I will tell you more about later. But Riding for Suicide Prevention was a project that takes a big ride by bicycle from Germany to Portugal, and along the way, giving lectures, having dialogues with people along the way. A fantastic experience in this project. And Bike for Life, at the same way, the same project, but focused on Portugal. So I like very much this quotation of the May spirit in a psychography by Chico Xavier, our great friend Chico Xavier, in the book God Awaits. So, the brother of community experience demands sympathy from you. Those in need await for the help that is possible for you. The animal begs your protection. The plant demands respect from you. The sources of water waits for you to preserve and defend it. The environment in which you live counts on you in the execution of its own duties, so that peace may, attention here, so that peace may felicitate everyone's lives. And if you are mindful before the principles of eternal good, you will understand in all situations and in all places that God needs your collaboration and waits for you. Actually, I should say that God needs our collaboration and are waiting for all of us in this way. So, peace effectively may felicitate everyone's lives, humans, not humans, environment, and all the set of this wonderful little blue planet. I like very much, my friends, to talk about the concept that is uh, deeply treated in this quotation of May May Spirit, that is community experience and the web of life. Well, I could take several examples of men and women from the past that offers his wisdom in order to teach us what is community experience, what is this web of life in on all of us are living now. But time is short. I take only 6 examples that are very important, very clear for us to show you the importance of this reconnection with this concept of community experience. Let's get started with Elena Petrovna Blavatsky, a philosopher from 19th century, creator of theosophy, that says that all the evils in the world come from the heresy of separativity. Well, nowadays, what are we seeing in the planet when we talk about habits, costumes, attitudes between all the people? So, separativity. We think that we are living in a compartmentalized world. So, if I am happy in my little box, it doesn't matter if the people in the other box of either or if the animals or vegetables in the for the kingdoms of animal and vegetal kingdom are suffering right now in other boxes. No, there are no boxes. There are no compartmentalization of life, and that's what Blavatsky is treating in all your literature, which I strongly recommend to you to take some look. I like very much the concepts of eco-psychology, a therapeutic and non-anthropocentric, pay attention here in this word, therapeutic and non-anthropocentric reconnection with nature. And I study once in a while. I see a lectures from the director of Brazilian Eco-Psychology Institutes, Dr. Marco Aurelio Bilibil. And one quotation touched my soul very deeply. A devastated forest is a perfect metaphor for a suffering soul. We are working with suicide prevention and emotional and mental health. What a perfect analogy, perfect comparison with all this emotional pandemic that we are living in nowadays in the picture of a devastated forest. Is that true? I guess I understand that this comparison is deeply hard and true. I like very much the concept of kamis, the kamis culture of Shintoism from Japan. The kami or kami is the way that people there call the figures of nature: waterfalls, rivers, lakes, rocks, in a way that people pay a high respect and reverence to these entities of nature, in a way that people ask for uh, graces to these elements of nature. I like very much here the spirit of reconnection or the deep connection with nature that is represented by the Shintoism in its kamis culture. It's very nice to learn more about it. Another example, wonderful one, is from the fact that in the middle 20th century, the government of the United States was trying to buy some lands from indigenous, and a deep negotiation wasn't going on was going on, and the chief of these communities, the chief Seattle, responds to this trial of the government of the United States to buy his lands in a way so poetically, I can say, and so deeply emerged in this urgent need of reconnection between mankind, and nature. That, the letter of Chief Seattle is a document that I strongly recommend you to read about it. Well, I took just one sentence that says, "Man didn't weave the fabric of life. He is simply one of its threads. Whatever you do to the fabric, you will do to yourself." Is that a kind of wake up call about the laws, universal laws of cause and effect? What what we are doing in terms of damaging the nature is turning against us every single day of our lives. Because why? Because we don't understand the deep concept of web of life, the fabric of life. So we have so much to learn with these brothers and sisters from indigenous population, isn't it? Well, another nice example is Jainism and Ahimsa. Jainism is a religion that is a kind of brother of Buddhism in India, and two great principles of this religion is respect for life and a kind of mindfulnessly living way of life, mindfulnessly uh, way of life. So they meditate a lot. They pay a huge respect to all creatures, all living creatures of the life. In this picture, you can see, for instance, the monks that are walking through streets of India uh, using this kind of masks covering his mouth. Why this? This is because they are from the bottom of their hearts deeply worried and in not harming any creature that is flying, insects, for instance, around them. So they pay a profound respect to all kinds of living creatures. This is a incredible lesson of what is community experience, what is living the web of life nowadays. We have so much to learn to with the Jainism and Ahimsa, the principle of non-violence. Remember Gandhi, Ahimsa and Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi is kind of synonymous. It's perfect. I strongly recommend you to learn more about Jainism. And the last one example that I'm giving to you is Plato in his myth of the cave, the illusion of disconnection. Well, mankind nowadays are kind of entertained by the shadows that are projected in the wall of this cave. What are these shadows telling to us? Basically, in my vision, my humble vision, um, these shadows are telling us that don't worry, live your life, seek only for your good, seek only for your pleasure, no matter if this pleasure is harming another creatures, human or non-humans, doesn't matter. Selfishness, the compartmentalized way of living. These, in my opinion, are the messages that are given for those who are manipulating his shadows in the wall, in this cave that we are living in these days. No? So, but outside the cave, there are plenty of life. There are plenty of community experience and a complete sense of living a web of life where everyone lives in peace and health in doing living your lives the way God wants us to live. Well, my friends, in this way, I like very much to offer this question to your reflections. Who? Who is suffering because of the troubles of the world? Well, when I did, in behalf of Acolher Viver, I should say, the project Bike for Life here in Portugal, this last year, in June, this last year, on June last year, we searched for sponsors and entities who will participate with us in this project. In this way, Voz de Apoio, in the free translation, Support Voices of Portugal, uh, joined us in this project, Bike for Life project, and which was very, very good for us to have the opportunity to spread the services that Voz de Apoio offers in Portugal. There are emotional support via telephone, via mail, via chat online, and just a few people knows the existence of Voz de Apoio. So during the project Bike for Life, we had the opportunity to inform the people who are in need of emotional support. There are points of support here in Portugal, a lot of points of support. Well, in one of the conversations that I had with the manager of Voz de Apoio, he told me about one concept that touched deeply my heart: the appellants. Who are the people who are looking for help in Voz de Apoio, in the channels of support of Voz de Apoio in Portugal? They are appellants, as the director told me. The people who appeals for help, who appeals for someone to hear them, the people who appeals for someone who not judges those people in suffering. Appellants, this concept touches me very deeply. And during this project, Bike for Life, for sure, I have some time between one city and another while riding my bike to meditate, to think about all that is happening. And another concept that emerged in my mind was the refugees. Yeah, people who are looking for help can be called appellants or refugees. And so, why? Why refugees? Uh, Refugees, what's the meaning of refugees? So, etymology. Refugee come from the Latin, is the origin of the Latin language. It is the verb refugere, re, indicating retreat, and fugere, to flee. Therefore, a refugee is someone who fled something because they are suffering and searching for protection. In this way, I think about we are dealing with millions nowadays, if not billions, of refugees in the world. What kind of refugees? So, the refugees from hunger and disease. In all these kind of refugees that I'm talking about here, my friends, I see with my eyes, and I had the opportunity to talk directly, live, face to face during these projects, both Riding for Suicide Prevention and Bike for Life. So let's name them: refugees from hunger and disease, refugees from the lack of purpose of life, purpose in life. They don't know what they are doing in this planet. They are lost. They are refugees in this way. So, emotional refugees, people who are trying to flee of the pain of a relationship that are not working well, and so on, for instance. Refugees from oppression of any kind of oppression. They are refugees and they are seeking for help. They are appealing for support. Social and political refugees, again, refugees from the digital world. During the chat, the work that I do weekly at CVV, dialoguing with people who are looking for support. Uh, every single week, someone is looking to have a conversation about the pain that these people, this person, are feeling because of comparison of the life that he or she are living now, a life not so good, and the illusion of the lives that are seen in the social medias, for instance, a life full of travels, full of excellent relationships, full of money, full of big cars, and so on. In this way, I think I can call these people refugees from the digital world. Another kind of refugee that are growing nowadays in the planet, climate refugee. People who have to leave to leave the country, the region of origin, because some event, some extreme climate event, and live in other place, other culture, other language, other structure of life. And imagine with me what kind of problems, emotional including, these climate refugees are living with nowadays. And the refugees for instance, inside the Spiritist movement, are studying Allan Kardec and several others, authors and spirits in the Spiritist literature. We will see that all creatures in this planet, all, I should say, I can say all the creatures living in this planet, imposing, are we offering to the brothers of the animal kingdom? They are refugees with a condemnation to death in many ways because of our ways of clothing. In this way, it's very important to think about the refugees from the animal kingdom. So, my friend, I can give you a lot. Unfortunately, I can give you a lot of examples of refugees to show you some numbers. For instance, 50% of the population is undernourished, about 20 million people. Earthquakes, human caused problems, but droughts and floods, all of with our digital in these problems because of our way of living, droughts, floods, and so on. live in violent political conflicts, restriction of freedom because of almost 3 million displaced refugees that are now living in Iran, Pakistan, for instance. Health infrastructure, that is a social and political huge problem, are also a huge problem in Afghanistan, and not only in Afghanistan. Pandemic COVID-19 has caused a lot of problems regarding to health infrastructure in Afghanistan too. In this way, I ask myself, what kind of perspective and purposes do these people have when coping with all kinds of problems that we are talking about here? And pay attention, I mentioned Afghanistan, but I could mention, for instance, Palestine, that is living nowadays a terrible situation. Well, in this way, how can we live a compartmentalized life? Getting our lives moving on our tracks, the same old tracks of selfishness, of costumes, habits, of, well, everything that we are doing in a day by day basis that is harming, that is causing damage to anyone, to someone in this planet, both here, right beside us, or at the other side of the planet. There are questions, deep questions for us to think about, and I'm asking you to think urgently about, in order to do something urgently about, because time is lacking until the numbers grow even bigger. And the question that remains after all this little explanation about refugees, and my friends, what about life and its value? Where is life? The concept of community experience and the concept of web of life be in this context of the refugees, of the appellants, of the people who are in urgent need of help, all kinds of help. Well, let me say that there are flowers in the way. Thanks God, there are always some flower on the way. There is a lot of support available on our path. For instance, here we are talking uh, also to United States. We have, for example, 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline that offers help, emotional support to people in need. We have here Mental Health USA, an entity that spreads information about awareness of the question of suicide prevention and emotional and mental health. And very important one, I could mention several names here, okay, but the time is short. A third example here is Second Floor Youth Helpline in New Jersey, United States, that offers help to this group of people, the teenagers, the kids, the adolescents that are nowadays facing incredible problems, struggling about this critical moment of life regarding sexuality, regarding relationships, regarding professional lives, regarding problems involving gender and understanding in in their families. Well, I can say that because during the chat online that I do weekly at CVV, a lot of teenagers, sometimes person with 10, 12, 14 years old looking for help and trying to have a empathetic conversation, and believe me, thinking in the extreme limit of get rid of their lives with so low age, 10 years, 12, 14. Is We are living really in a kind of a big pandemic, emotional pandemics. In this way, my friends, there are at least two challenges for us, for all of us. The first one is publicity, because we have on site a lot of people, millions, maybe billions of people who are in urgent need of help, any kind of emotional help. On the other side, a lot of entities that are offering, volunteers that are offering this help. So these two groups aren't connecting each other, because people who are suffering, just a few knows what a amount of help is available on the way. Not only United States, in any country in the world. So publicity, marketing, inform people is another urgent mission for all of us. Even there in Brazil, CVV exists since 1962. A long way of living, a long way of life, and a few people knows that CVV exists, and a lot of people are suffering with not knowing that support is available uh, by telephone, by chat online. This is very sad. Well, the second challenge is raise awareness, to spread a and spread urgently a systemic vision of this question, of this environment of emotional and mental health and peace and life for everyone who is living a community experience on this planet. But which vision? What kind of system? What kind of systemic vision are we talking about here? Well, I like very much to say this phrase of Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher about 2,500 years ago. He said that those who are awake have a world in common, but those who sleep return, each of them, to their private world. This quotation touched me very deeply, because this phrase is telling us there is no compartmentalized life. There is no way of living in peace with us not caring much more about the lives of those who are walking with us in this pilgrimage of life, both humans, non humans. In this way, this process of awakening to these lost connections is, in my vision, absolutely urgent. Not only my vision, I'm saying in the first person in my vision, because I am telling this by experience, by travel, by putting the bike on the road, talking to people, and and having this experience of seeing what these people are going through. And what these people are going through is related. That's the point, my friends. It's strongly, directly connected to all dimensions of our life. If we not pay attention to every one of these dimensions in a Christian way, in a way that express solidarity and fraternity, there is no chance for us to live a a pacific life on the planet. Because, in my point of view, there's no way to feel happiness now, here in my place, if right beside me there is sad, there is pain, there is suffering in the family next to me, or in the family on the other side of the planet, or with the animals who are going to the slaughterhouses around the world, who are transported by ships as if they are objects, just numbers, just goods for our consumption. What I try to say is the not respecting the life, as the Jainists do. They respect the life deeply. With mankind not respecting life this way, in a systemic way, there is no way of living well in this planet. There is no way of living peace and health in this planet, on this planet. So let's go. Let's take some look over these dimensions of life that we are in urgent need to pay attention of. Physical health, fighting hunger. We can do, every one of us can do something in order to fight hunger. Environment. Nowadays, history is being written about the state of deep degradation that humankind are doing to the nature. And karma, the laws of action and reaction, cause and effect. The nature is giving us what we are giving to nature. In this way, climate change, a life with kind of eco anxiety because of the event of extreme events of climate change, and a lot of climate refugees. The director of World Bank told recently that around 2050, it will be around 250 million climate refugees around the planet. Can you even imagine the size of the problem? If you stop for a while, in a daily basis, and think about it, there's no way for us not to do some revolutions in our lives in order to do our part to revert this problem, to change the polarity of this problem. This dimension tells much about our peace, our health in this planet. So, in this way, animal ethics, pandemics, the respect of biodiversity. The last pandemic was all about our invasion in the animal environment in order to obtain goods, in order to satisfy our false needs, I can say. And in this way, the viral element was freed. And history uh, tells us what happens. Millions of people died around the world because of COVID. And this is not the last. This was not the first pandemic because of this invasion of animal kingdom, and unfortunately, can be not the last one, not the last pandemic. The question involving leisure, the borders between a healthy and a toxic leisure, is an important dimension too. Very important one, spirituality and self-knowledge. We are, remember that I told you that are refugees from the lack of purpose of life. Lack of purpose of life versus spirituality and self-knowledgement. Spirituality and self-knowledgement can have the power to erase any kind of lack of purpose of life or sense of life, in my humble opinion. And now I should tell you that I am just a pilgrim, just a volunteer that has no formation in psychology, psychiatrics, just a volunteer, just a pilgrim that are doing the path, that is seeing the problems along the way, that are talking to people, that are seeing eyes and hearts of people who are in extreme danger, in extreme situation, risk of life along the way. Well, another dimension very important is gender, all kind of oppressions, gender, ethnical, religious, racist issues. Unfortunately, we are in 21st century, and still, that's incredible. We are still talking about racism. We are still talking about xenophobia. We are still talking, losing, uh, having to invest time to cope with the problem of ethnical issues, gender issues. That's incredible. But that's what it is. We should do something in relation to it. Social and political issues and the digital world, dark and light sides of this incredible scenario, digital scenario in our planet, social medias, now artificial intelligence that have that has two sides of the coin, the fantastic good side of the science and applications of in on health issues, and the other side of this coin, the the bad influence that it can impose to the lives of people. My friends, all of these dimensions are, as I told you, directly connected to life, peace, and health for all of us in a non compartmentalized way. There's no way. There is no way of living in peace on this planet without seeing, without working, without, I can say more, without doing revolutions in a daily basis in our lives, where we live, in our neighborhood, in our city, in our country. And this is absolutely important and also urgent. In this way, we are in the middle of a marathon, obstacles marathon, and there are three, just to mention a few, three obstacles that prevent urgent systemic revolutions in the name of value of life. First of all, ignorance. It's hard to justify ignorance nowadays when we have so much access to information. But still, there is a lot of ignorance spread all over the world about those dimensions that I mentioned before. Ignorance leads us to indifference. It's not my problem. I'm still going to live my life in a selfishness way. So indifference kills. Ignorance and indifference leaves us to a scenario of inaction, which is unacceptable in a world like this one that we are living in. So, my friends, without victory over these obstacles, peace, health, and a full life, a life that are constructed on the realms of the good, the, the the realms of justice, the realms of health, will always be highly compromised. Highly compromised. It's very nice to approfundize the study in the question of this web of life related to the question both of suicide prevention and questions involving environment and animal ethics and see that all this set of works, set of missions that I have in my life are dialoguing frankly, openly with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of uh, United Nations, the famous 2030 Agenda. So, mental health and sustainability, all of these 17 development goals are related to this message that I'm trying to give you today. Every one of them. For instance, number three, I could speak of every one of the 17, but time is short. Time is running short, really short. So the the goal number three, good health and well-being. It's a matter also of sustainability of the planet. That's incredible. Zero hunger, the number two, or thinking in a non anthropocentric way, life of land, number 15, life below water, number 14, climate action, number 13, and so on. Gender equality, number 5, the question of oppressions. Everything is connected. And these connections uh, have the power to first of all give me a lot of strength to keep going, keep doing this work in these roads of life, in this pilgrimage, both with or not, or with not bicycles with me. But at the same time, these connections that are so crystal clear uh, kind of terrifies me. You know why? Because I see that a huge number of people nowadays simply ignored these connections nowadays. And if they are ignoring all of this, obviously they are going to be indifferent in relation to the pain of both humans and non-humans. And if they ignore and if they are indifferent, they are not acting. And if they are not acting, we are 8 billion people on the planet. What's the point? Where are we going? Where are going this huge ship, interplanetary ship that is called Earth? That's why all these connections to life in the community experience, in the web of life, gives me strong to keep working, and at the same time terrifies me. Well, there's no time for terrifying. There's only time to work, and that's why I am here delivering this message to you guys, because this is not a simple lecture. This is also a kind of ask for help, I ask for awareness, I ask for growing of this sense of community experience in every one of us. With this in mind, we put the bike on the road. Yes, which is amazing because I love riding my bike. I love riding great distance. Uh, I am, yes, I am imitating uh, great personalities of our history that are true pilgrims in this world, like Paul of Tarsus, like John the Baptist. I do try to imitate them because I think there is no other option for me, no other option for all of us uh, in this world so full of problems that we are living in. So in this way, we put the bike on the road. And First time, 2022, the project was Writing for Suicide Prevention. I started from Bremen in Germany, north of Germany, and all the way went all the way to Guimarães in Portugal. A wonderful experience, a wonderful experience. I will talk a little, I'll talk more later. 2023, last year, Bike for Life at this time focused on Portugal, around 1,400 kilometers from north to south, and again to north of Portugal, to my city, Guimarães. In these two projects, giving lectures, conversations along the way, in any corner of the way, in a bakery store, whatever I was, it emerged a extremely rich conversation with people who were interested in these projects, but also with people who are really deeply suffering some kind of emotional problems and had no option to share these problems. You understand? People who needs to talk and had no, didn't know the way of putting aside and sharing all these problems that were feeling. So extremely amazing conversations along the way. Diversified public, not only in spirit centers, Catholic centers, monasteries, city towns, and so on, and universities, colleges. We had the support of sponsors. We have the support of donations because we are not rich, and these projects cost a lot of money, and we don't have this money. So sponsors, donations were fundamental to the to the success of this project. And we need to talk about all those connections that we are talking about today. So we did it. In Ride for Suicide Prevention, some pictures to share here to you. Oh, my time is almost running out. So let's go. Some pictures along the way, some lectures, some opportunities to meditate under a tree in a way, and so many marvelous scenarios of nature along the way, so many opportunities to improve, to converse, to have a conversation with other religions. And here, a monastery in the countryside of Portugal, Portugal, and here on the way, a lot of histories along the way. This last one was amazing, was one of a kind. I was traveling from Bremen, right at the beginning of the project, towards the Netherlands, and this guy saw the bicycle, saw the banners on the bicycle, and started a conversation. And this conversation took around an hour. We both riding. He was going to the work, and he told me about a lot of questions, about a lot of issues that has much to say to the connections that we are talking about here. For instance, the opportunity to talk about emotional feelings, the opportunity to have a sympathetic conversation, an empathetic conversation, to have just a smile to offer and to receive to someone who are seeking for support, for someone who are a migrant in a country that is not so, let me say, warm, maybe, in relationship to the migrants. So it was one of several great moments in this project. There are a lot of histories that I can share with. So this time, Bike for Life in Portugal, a lot of lectures. Because it is important to say that, because talking about emotional health, talking about suicide prevention, still is kind of a taboo, kind of a myth. People frequently doesn't want to talk about it. So in this way, when I was planning the project and doing the contacts and so on, the fact that I'm preparing to do a long distance, riding a bike to claim attention to these problems, it was the key to open the conversation and opening the opportunities to give lectures. This was amazing. Give lectures in spiritist centers, in Catholic churches, in city towns, colleges, and so on. This opened a field of work that was uh, extremely great. It was great for me because I am a Brazilian who is migrant. I am living in Portugal 2.5 years, and who would open space for someone like me, a pilgrim, a volunteer, to talk about suicide prevention, to talk about nature, to talk about animal kingdom, and all relations that exist among these dimensions. So riding a bike was the key to open room to those conversations, and a lot of pictures, a lot of landscapes, marvelous landscapes, a lot of people, a lot of contacts. My agenda, my cell phone agenda, was is right now rich of contacts that are still running. We are talking daily, weekly, about the question of life, about projects, about new initiatives in this field that is kind of seeds of knowledgement, or can I say seeds of volunteering, are growing and generating other projects that are in progress in this time nowadays here in Portugal. And I am very proud. I am almost wrapping up to the end of this lecture. I'm very proud to say that we are preparing Bike for Life Spain in 2025. That's why I'm trying to exercise my Spanish in order to deliver the message. And it promises to be another great experience of volunteering in the name of life. Well, let's talk about some essential supports to the problem of mental health, emotional health, to the problem of a perfect life, perfect experience in community, in this web of life, in this community experience. So, psychology, psychiatry, and various therapies are urgent, are important, always. Uh, Counting on public health and safety structure in the more extreme situations of evolving risk of life, and emotional support lines and support groups from people who are suffering because of questions related to suicide. And my friends, if all these kinds of support are connected with all the dimensions of existence that we are talking here today, even better, even better. So, for instance, physical activities are extremely important. Horticulture, gardening, plant based diet, and depression. So, As you probably may note, I am a strong fighter for life, for animal life too, and I am vegan. So in this way, there's no way not to inform, not to spread the idea of veganism, because veganism dialogues with all these problems, all these dimensions. For instance, talking about nutrition, for instance, a plant-based diet has the power to improve the production of serotonin uh, in our intestine. So this production of serotonin goes to the mind, to the cerebral, and fights depression in a very useful way. So I strongly recommend you to do more research about it, not dispensing the other ways of treating. Please, not I am not saying that, but it is a important tool for our health. The science is telling us uh, about this plant-based diet and its importance. So volunteering in activism, extremely important, because being useful to the others, we are going to be useful to our inner side. If think about a person who are feeling that his life is not important, he's thinking about putting an end of his life. So if this person, this brother or sister, think about the possibility of doing some volunteering, doing some activism, he step by step will see that the life, his life, can be very important to other lives. In this road, these people, this brother, this sister, can be convinced that his life, yes, has a lot of importance. And the proposal of life will grow in the heart of these people. So, in this way, human health is equal health in the truth of nature. And the fight for the value of life goes through the religare, the reconnection of with God, no matter the name that you are giving to God, God, Allah, doesn't matter. Meditation, spirituality, and very important, detach a practical philosophy, self-knowledgement, this expulsion of the merchants, like Jesus did in the temple at Jerusalem, is a way that for us to get rid for all the merchants of our peace, of our health, of our life that are living inside us. So in this way, philosophy has a huge value as a tool of life. Again, eco-psychology and ahimsa, very important. Eco-psychology has the power through therapy. For instance, the therapy that involves meditation into the forests has the power to improve some questions involving, for instance, anxiety and blood pressure, to mention a few. Yeah. There is a no anthropocentric view, a systemic approach to the web of life. There is one therapy that is called forest bathing. That is amazing. I strongly recommend you to do some research about it. It regulates, as I told, blood pressure, mood, reduces stress, stimulates the immune system, and reduces anxiety. That will be great. That will be great. So do some research about eco-psychology and mix eco-psychology with ahimsa, with non-violence. I am sure that the life will be good, the peace will live in your hearts, the health will spread in body, mind, and spirit once and for all. Well, appreciation of life can navigate the seas of culture, for sure. For example, during the Bike of Life in the south region of Portugal, I discovered a kind of treatment that is tested in the public health system here in Portugal that it's called cultural prescription. The convergence between culture, arts, and mental health constitutes an expanding and deepening reality, including cultural prescription and in this holistic vision. I can offer to you the link in Portuguese, but it is possible to convert about with much more information about cultural prescription. Amazing, amazing. Imagining I am suffering, I'm going to a psychologist, I'm going to a spiritist center, reconnect me with God, studying the doctrine, the spiritist doctrine. I could say any other doctrines, and at the same time, I could receive kind of recept, kind of prescription of actions involving arts, music, culture. It will be amazing to do some to enjoy this set of tools in order to be happy. So in this way, I have a quotation by Leon Denis from the book Spiritism and Art that says the art, well understood, is a powerful means of elevation and renewal. It is the source of the purest pleasures of the soul. It beautifies life, sustains and consoles and probations, and outlines for the spirit in advance the routes to heaven. Amazing and poetically stimulating for all of us to think about all these kinds of support that are available to all of us. So, really coming up to the end of this lecture and concluding that based along during this travel, during this pilgrimage in this world, in these works, there is one single conclusion to simplify it. In solve in a sustainable way the problems of the world related mainly to health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, peace, peace, with no including in our thoughts, in our words, in our acts, everything that is related to the other dimensions of life. For instance, there is no way to live in peace, in health on this planet, for example, disrespecting nature, the vegetable kingdom, the animal kingdom. There is no way to live in peace, live with our stomachs full of food, with the pleasures of life, knowing that at the same time, millions, billions, maybe trillions of animals, if we include the fish, the fishery industry, that are killed every year. We have to, in my opinion, in this conclusion, think about ahimsa, the solutions, the directions for our paths are all put on the table during the history of the humanity. And ahimsa is one of these instruments, is one of these tools of life. A perspective of non-violence with of any kind to anyone. So in this way, again, I think that that's why I am here, and that's why I'm so grateful to Solitude to open this space to deliver this systemic, holistic message that while we live in these boxes, separated boxes, in this compartmentalized way, not knowing, not caring about the life and the welfare of everyone who lives on the planet, there is no chance to peace. There is no chance to live in a healthy way. So that's why little revolutions, or not so little, great revolutions are needed in our lives daily basis, day by day, in our since we wake up in the morning until we put our head on a pillow tonight, we should use the time to do something not only for us, but for everyone who are living on the planet. So if we don't do this, we will keep on going, seeing depression, psychological problems, uh, refugee problems of any kind going on the planet. That's what I'm seeing in this route, in this road that are there in the screen for you to see in this life, and that's what I should do. Put a bike on the road, keep going, and delivering this message wherever I can deliver. And I am so thankful that, for instance, Solitude opened room to me for do this wake up call. And this is not a lecture to finish. This is an asking. I'm asking every one of you to think more about this community experience, full of life, full of peace, full of health. Let's think about, and the time is running, the clock is ticking. We have no that much time. So thank you very much. I hope from the bottom of my heart that this is useful for every one of you. I invite you to follow us on social media. And thank you very much, my dear friend Marcia, dear friends of Solitude, and always count on me, this humble pilgrim, humble volunteer of life.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm
Yes.
sorry the
Go
time.
ahead.
Now,
No, don't be sorry. This is awesome. As you can see in the screen, everyone, there's lots and lots of opportunity to stay engaged because I think this is, Roberto, it's your own life calling, that life of a pilgrim, modern pilgrim, right? And let us just follow this call to action. Let's stay connected. Let's connect first and foremost, but stay connected and perhaps identify which way that you and I can actually address the current crises in mental health or well being that we're all underneath, either as a refugee in the many different dimensions, right, Roberto? Or just because we're not well. We all can be touched and helped. Roberto, I would love to ask you one more thing before we say goodbye. Do you mind sending a final thought? It can be a prayer, it can be a poem, it can be just a message before we say goodbye for now.
yes, yes, for sure. This is not an invitation. This is a convocation. This is obligatory. I'm
There's an
here to
urgency
help.
there, right? There's an
Yes.
urgent platform, and so not an invitation, it's a call to action. Let's get engaged. Thank you, Roberto.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Well, uh, I would propose to you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and send to the skies towards God, our Father, the King of all the universes, our gratitude for being here in this time of history. God, we thank you for being here. We appreciate your mercy and confidence in every one of us because the state of the things on the planet is not good, my Lord. And it is not good because of us, because of what we are doing right now in this life, because of all our ignorance, indifference, and inaction in the pre-existent lives. So we beg, we beg you, my Lord, your mercy, your strength, your vibrations, in order to pay attention on the way, in order to pay attention to all the living creatures that are sharing this journey with us. And these creatures, my Lord, that are in pain, these creatures that are, and we are asking you for them, these creatures that are thinking about the illusory possibility of ending their lives. We ask you, my Lord, for them. We ask you, my Lord, for us, because we are those who are damaging, damaging them. We are asking you, Lord, for the living creatures of the nature, the forests, the animals, our brothers of experience that are suffering because of us. Oh, my Lord, we ask you your patience for us to keep going and for us to wake up right now for the reality of this planet in order to right now offer all we can offer in order to mitigate, or why not, my God, in order to finish the suffering on this planet, because we can do it. But instead of it, we are sleeping in the kind of bed of ignorance, indifference, and inaction. So I ask you, we ask you, Lord, strength. We ask to all the spirituality that accompanies us, all the strength, all the good vibrations for us to correct our path on the journey of our lives. We thank you very much, my Lord, for all of us being here, living on this moment, with our hearts full of gratitude, full of joy. We thank you. Amen.
So be it. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. And we appreciate you, Roberto, for being with us today. So long.
So long. See you soon.